Welcome, Resilience family. We are here again on a Saturday morning. That's a change for us. Normally, we're here on a Sunday greeting you all. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
All love here, all love here, all love here.
Yes. So, we hope you all have a wonderful week, and this weekend going to be amazing.
Especially
And
for the fathers.
oh, yes, it is Father's Day this weekend on Sunday. Well, at the beginning of the week. That it is. Oh, I don't know. My heart just right now is on reflection. Just take some time to reflect this weekend and keep moving forward. Yeah. But
Yes.
guys, yes, indeed. But we have an amazing guest today, y'all. I'm excited because she's just natural, you know. Y'all know how I am. Can't show you my curls, Miss Lisa.
Period.
No, I didn't comb the hair this morning. I didn't comb the hair today. Yeah, I just didn't want to deal with it. But much ado, we have Miss Lisa Crite in the building, y'all. Please.
Yeah. So
Hello.
if you're out there, show some claps, show some snaps, just show some love. We appreciate
Thank
you.
you. Welcome, welcome, Lisa. So tell us a little bit about you, ma'am.
So, my name is Lisa from Detroit, but I am Arizona based, also known as the curly haired herbalist. So, I specialize in herbal healing internally and externally. So, through herbal teas, herbal infused body care products, herbal steams, and just really focusing on educating everyone, but especially our community, on how herbal medicine is an alternative for you. You don't have to just always go with what's given to you, and a diagnosis is not the final say so.
That's good. That's good. This is like a discussion I just been having like for a long while, like with myself, y'all. Uh
Mhm.
Natural, because God done gave us what we need here on earth, you know? Um, we just wasn't taught. It wasn't passed down, I believe, from generation to generation. We just known to go to the doctor, you know. Not saying you shouldn't, y'all, but we got some things here that can nourish us, nourish our body, our health, our well-being. Yeah.
Well, before we get into that, though, um, for many of you, this is Miss Lisa Crowt again. What encouraged you to become that herbalist? Like, what scripture started all this for that to activate for you becoming who you are today?
Well, for me, it's Ezekiel verse 7, where it basically just says, like the fruit of the trees will be used for meat, and then the herbs be used for medicine. So that always encourages me to let me know, like, God really did give us all that we need. If you think about it, cut a stalk of celery, and if you replant it the right way, it'll grow itself. Or if you take a seed from an orange and you replant it, you can grow an entire orange tree. So I really believe, like, God gave us medicine that not only can heal us, but can replenish itself. But
Yes.
somewhere along the way, we kind of just lost track. Um, so that always kind of brings me back to core. So just the book of Acts, where it speaks about our spiritual gifts. I believe one of my spiritual gifts is the gift of healing. So I try my best to honor God by exercising that gift in all aspects.
Wow, wow. So, if you could just tell everybody a little bit more about what it is exactly you do and how has it helped many of them? Because I'm quite sure a lot of them have been coming to you once they, understand that this is not something that you created. This is something God has given you the ability to use.
Yes. Well, so with me being an herbalist, I basically it's a lot of studying. So I study just about herbs and about different things and making sure that they don't interact or contradict with medication or allergies, making sure they don't contradict with each other. And then I have like my standard product on my website, but I do custom made products. So for example, I made a tea for someone who has pneumonia, but she's taking
Wow.
certain medications. So I couldn't just throw in any type of herb that's good for lungs. I have to make sure that it works well with what she's also taking. My father he had heart surgery, so I had to make a tea for him, but I had to make sure that it didn't contradict with his heart medication. So just being very mindful of what we have, but also making sure it doesn't contradict, because we don't want to make a situation worse. We don't want to cause another situation to arise. So I always make sure I speak as in depth as I can with whoever I'm working with, and get as much knowledge as I can. And then I just combined it with what I already know about the herbs.
That's good.
Wow. Um, and if you can just give us a tidbit of your background. We know that you're from Detroit, Michigan, and you reside, of course, in Arizona. And for those, I've learned the D because I have family out there. So just give us a little insight on you, the artistry, and, as far as like how you were raised and whatnot.
Yes, so from Detroit, I was born and raised on the west side. I went to Michigan State University, where I graduated with food industry management. I am also a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. I just graduated with my master's in business administration from Grand Canyon University.
Sweet.
Thank you. I'm also a certified herbalist through Southwest Herbal, which is in Mesa, Arizona. Um, a little bit about my background. Well, I grew up in a faith-based family on both sides. So I grew up in the church, not like the forced, you have to go to church, but that's just what happened. Um, so I think that also allowed me to have my own relationship with God and my own understanding, because my family encouraged it, but it wasn't like a you have to be here type of thing. It's just like you learn it on your own type of thing. Um, Surrounded by family, very, very family oriented. Over the years, I've lost what I consider would be some core members of my family. I did lose my mother in March 2018. And that kind of really pushed me towards pursuing God even more, because I felt like was either I pursue God or I just fall down this rabbit hole of just giving up on life. And as I was pursuing God, and I made a commitment to myself to finish the Bible. So as I was reading the Bible, I just kind of had a greater understanding of like God's appreciation and love for us, and how He's given us things here on earth to show that appreciation. So I started noticing like, butterflies and birds, and learning more about the herbs and different things like that I kind of never really paid too much attention to before. And I've always made my own products because I have sensitive skin, but I never considered putting herbal medicine into my products. So it was just natural oils and butters. But once I kind of learned more about it, I was able to combine it, and then that's where I'm at right now.
Wow.
Wow, that's amazing. And have you had, since the business is created and is built off the foundation of God, have you noticed there have been a lot of people to come to you for recommendations and whatnot, what have you?
For me, I just officially launched my business in January. So I've been making stuff for people, but I never charged them, because I'm like, well, who would want to buy it? I want to make it affordable, but then I'm like, well, I don't want to work where I'm working at right now. So let me start my business. And people have definitely been coming to me more often, asking for advice. People I don't know, which I think is very beautiful, because it's like I'm reaching beyond my scope of my inner circle now. Um, so I've definitely been getting a lot of people reaching out. I will say, with me being an herbalist who is grounded in my faith in God, there's also a lot of people who are not. And as I'm getting more into this community, I'm finding that a lot of people praise the universe, but they don't praise God, and they praise the herbs, but they don't have an understanding of where that come from. So I find
Right.
myself also just educating and learning to set those boundaries and different things like that too.
That's good. Oh, that's good.
Wow, and that is true. I've noticed, and I'm like, and not try to challenge them, because God says, "Do not argue with the fool," because in your mind you're like, "How on earth are you gonna sit here?" And it's not to be judgmental, but it's like you give honor to this, but not honor to God who created it.
Right.
You know, and that's a whole nother subject.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. So I noticed that sometimes we have to have provocation from pain, and that pushes the birth of what you were created to do. what has caused that pain, or what has triggered you to where now you're pushing it to know that this is what the world needs?
Yeah. Well, I guess for me, it was a few things. Like, one, losing my mom really triggered something in me to where, like, okay, I don't know what my purpose is. I need to find it because my mother was so full of life.
Mm-hmm.
And it just encouraged me to, like, okay, you you are not the same as far as my mom's personality. I'm much more laid back than she was. But it's like you still have that light, that spark in you. Like, she is still a part of you. So you pull from that strength and you figure out what it is that you're meant to do. And it took a long time. Like, a lot of times I feel like I was fighting against it because I am so laid back and I'm like, well, I don't want to speak in front of people. I don't want to have to sell myself or sell my product or,
Mm-hmm.
different things like that. But then it was like God slowly just pushed me in a way to where I'm still staying true to myself, but I am getting out of my comfort zone. So I think just remembering, like, my mother's just life and how full of life she was and how she commanded a room, that really does inspire me. So when I do feel timid, I remember, like, well, that's not me. Like, that's not in me. I have strong blood in me. Like, I have that strength and that encouragement to push forward and stand boldly in who I am. So just remembering my mom's life, that really, I feel like, helped me to push forward to where I'm at right now.
Okay. Wow.
I,
Wow. Wow.
I totally understand. I get it. Put like that. I lost my mom too. Gosh, in 2012, I believe. That's when my mom passed. And then 3 years later, I lost my father. And then some years later, I lost my son. So it does push you. The
Mm.
loss, the pain of that. It pushes you just to want more,
Yeah.
to do better. You know what I'm saying? I know some people fall to the other side, where they get lost in that grief, where they probably don't want to move forward.
Mhm.
Um, but then it's the other side that I hope people go to when they experience loss, after you go through your grief process, because everybody have that process. That pushes you to want more because life is so precious then, kind of give you that aha moment, that light bulb turns on like, whoa, okay, what is my purpose? What am I here on this earth to do? Time is
Yeah.
of the essence, you know.
Yeah.
I totally get that. I'm gonna let Britt you keep taking the lead because I want to talk about some of these products. Because
Yes, that's what I was
Oh,
going to go to next.
yeah.
Because listen, so what is the main herb or product that you notice as women um, or women of color do miss out that is needed and we're just not aware of that we're needing?
For me, my favorite herb is raspberry leaf. And I pretty much
Mhm.
put that in majority of all of my teas, but especially for women. It's really good for toning our uterine wall. It's good for balancing
Mm.
our hormones. So those who may want to have a child, or maybe you don't want to have a child, but you have terrible menstrual cramps, it helps
Mm.
as well. And I think that women, especially women of color, are missing out on that because just don't have the knowledge of it. For the most part, from my experience, doctors won't tell you about it. And those are things that can really help nourish you, especially when you are having a child or you're preparing to have a child. And if you're having issues and doctors are just giving you medication,
Mhm.
most people don't understand that that medication can sometimes have different side effects that can be impacting you in a different way. And not only is it not helping you towards your goal, but it's also causing other issues that you may not even realize until years later. And not saying that, all medication does that, but from my experience, raspberry leaf and just herbs in general, they kind of know, like, what to do in your body, I think. When you think about it, we are of the earth and so are
Mhm.
herbs. So it only makes sense that it works well with us.
Right.
Wow. Yeah. Mm.
Wow. So
Uh,
what's this herb? Rose hip. I had a gynecologist back home in Illinois. Um, I don't know. I'm like one of those having issues, with the menstrual cycle. Um, it's just crazy. It's all over the place. And she had me to add rose hip just to my daily regimen to take, or she was like, even get you the vitamin C with the rose hip in it, or I forgot what she said that supposed to help with down there or the whatever. But can you shine a little light if you know about the rose hip? Like I'm still
Mm-hmm.
trying to figure that out.
Well, me personally, I don't have too much experience using rosehip when it comes to menstrual cycle, but rosehip is really good for vitamin C, and I do put them in my yoni steams, meaning,
Oh,
and so it also helps to kind of like relax the tissues and help that vitamin C to soak up in the tissue. So it could possibly help when you ingest it vaginally too. I just never have used it
yeah,
for tea when it
I'm
comes to.
got it. Something with that pH balance. Oh, but this is good. This is good. So you have a anti-anxiety blend on here.
Yes.
Well, I'm huge on mental health. Um, please talk a little bit about that.
Yes. So I originally just made that blend for myself because sometimes I do
Mm.
get very, very anxious, and I start to physically feel that anxiety. And I used to just do like a simple lavender valerian root tea, and that didn't work for me. So Blue Lotus is like the star ingredient, and what it does is it helps you just kind of relax your
Mm,
state of mind.
that's good.
If you use too much, it can create a euphoric feel, so you do want to be careful with that. But basically, the tea is full of nervine herbs, meaning that it helps your nervous system adjust to what's going on around you. So
Wow.
naturally, it'll just kind of help your body to relax.
Yeah.
You just kind of you do have to drink it intentionally, so you can't be drinking it
Right.
and frantically, like, you have to just kind of take your time, breathe for a second, drink it, and then just understand, like, okay, everything is okay, and
Right.
it's going to help your nervous system to just adjust with what's going on.
Oh, the calming. I like that. That's very good. I think that's
Yeah.
one I'm gonna be pushing.
Now, I have a question because well, 3 years ago, had an incident where it caused me to die, be resuscitated twice, and in a coma. So everything was fine, but then now I have to deal with my nerves in my feet, and they have a tendency to, when I'm resting, then they start acting a fool. When I'm active and doing stuff, don't bother me. No pain, no none of that. But as soon as I rest, then that's when the pain begins. What would you suggest in a herbal tea for something like that?
Even the oil.
Honestly, I would have to kind of speak more to you in depth about like what medications you're possibly taking, how long the pain, if it's coming certain times of the night or certain times of the day, because it's different things that can fall into that. And for me, it's like it's easy to like tell you an herb, but I really need to understand what's going on with your body because
Mm,
certain things work, and I can tell you something, and then it makes it worse because I don't understand like the underlying cause of what's really going on.
got you, got you.
But there are
See,
different herbs for pain relief, though.
I like her because she's not going to just throw something at you. So, and for any of you watching, you better pay attention because a lot of times, no offense, some people who practice will just throw anything at you. Whereas
Yeah.
she is like learning to study your body, understand the rhythm of your body, understand what it particularly can reject or what it will accept. Because if not, that person could give you something, and like she said, it could either trigger or it can coincide or there'll be an effect. So
Mm-hmm.
for her to stop and say, no, there's need more, that just lets me know, hey, this is the truth. She's not going to just throw anything at you just to make her sell. She's all about healing for real. So pay attention to that, people. Pay attention to that. Oh, that's good. I like it.
So tell us about this event you have coming up. You're doing this collaboration event.
Yes. So I'm actually collaborating with my line sister. She is a therapist. And so it's basically just like a self love brunch event. My birthday is July 31st. The event is July 30th. So I'm just like, this is perfect. We can have it that Sunday before. And it's a brunch. So it's women only, a very small, intimate setting. I'm only selling about 20 to 25 tickets. And it's
Okay.
basically just for us to kind of self-reflect on things that could be preventing us from loving ourselves, doing exercise so that we can understand how to push through that so that we can come back to loving ourselves. And my line sister, her name is Divine, her also name is Therapist Bay. She will be speaking about how to navigate through grief and love yourself through that journey. So it'll be a brunch. We will be having floral themed mimosas. It's at a beautiful studio called Biophilia in Phoenix, and that's full of flowers and plants, and it's just going to be a good vibe, a good time.
Wow.
That's neat. And we had that, if I'm not mistaken, did we have her on? Miss Divine. Or is it Miss
No, that's not who she's talking about.
Okay, because I was like, what? Yes, well, we need to, yeah.
But we are going to have to reach out to her, though.
Nice, right.
Tell her she's next.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm really huge on mental health. We really needs to take care of our minds, our spirit as well, to cultivate, to live. We neglect it, especially as Black people. It's just major neglect, but it's overall, not with just us, mental health in general. Just to be healthy, it's part of the health package, and we always forget about the mind. That's gonna be amazing. I gotta have to check my calendar and get a ticket. I gotta see what I'm doing.
So, and regarding the ministry that that you carry, what would you say that is most important about the ministry that you have?
I would say number one is just actually working in it. So not just, posting on Instagram and trying to get followers, but actually working and educating. So I teach classes. When people reach out to me, I usually don't make them book a consultation unless it's like the second or third time. And it's like, okay, we need to get something going here. But once they reach out just for advice, I just educate them. I help them because I understand how it is to have something wrong and not know what to do, or you may not necessarily want to be put on medication, because I've had therapists want to just throw me on medication after one session, and it's like, well, no, it doesn't work like that. So just educating and giving people as many resources as possible. My product is organic, and I try my best to make it as affordable as I can, because I also understand how it is to not be able to afford certain things. And I think that it's important for me to just fully operate in my ministry at full capacity in all areas.
That's good.
Okay.
That's good. That's good. That is good. So not just online, but viewers, anyone could go to Amazon too to get your products, correct?
Yep. So it's on Amazon, and then also at Afro Soul Marketplace, which is in Central Phoenix, and then my website, thecurlyhairherbalist.com.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta make these connects. And I just caught on when you said you were AKA. That's my cousin. I never pledged. They asked, no, it's not for me. Not for me. But yeah.
What makes you resilient?
For me, I would say I never give up. Like, it's times where I might be delayed, but I always do. That's always been my thing. I might take a second to think about it, or I don't know, should I, but I always do it. And when I do it, I always give 100%. So when I am faced with losing my mother, losing my aunts, losing my grandmother, I'm not even 30 yet. That's something that could break someone down. Like, those are core years where you really need those women in your life. And I could have chosen to just, step back and, well, I'm just going to work my 9 to 5, and I'm not going to go to school. I'm not going to pursue my business. I'm not going to walk in my purpose. But although I was slightly delayed because I was grieving and trying to figure myself out, I still did it. And it's been the theme of my life. It may be a slight delay, but it's going to get done.
And you know what? That's actually scriptural. Also, that's a word I've been hearing in the spiritual realm: delayed but not denied. So that's the type of frame of mind you need to have when you're going into business. And you are absolutely correct, because you need to understand some things God has for you can be delayed. It doesn't mean that you're denied. It just means that it's delayed until his appointed time. And because of how you are, that's how you're prospering. That's how you've been resilient. That's how you've been able to flourish and still
Mhm.
flourish. So, just know that your anointing is going to touch, oh, so many.
I
So
know you are about to snatch up this young adult world, you know,
Thank
yes,
you.
like
and
um,
more and more, you know.
what does the color yellow represent to you? Because I keep seeing and I keep hearing yellow, and I'm like, what? Okay, I'll ask. So, what does that represent? What does yellow represent?
Well, the first thing that came to mind when you said it is so just sunshine, sunlight. And it's that's so crazy because I literally when I pray, I always pray like, God, let me be one of your lights in the world. So that really just connected. I love that. But to me it just means like sunlight, being bright, being sunshine.
And I mean, you do have the power of healing. Have you been in a situation where you have been healed from and that you're healing in?
Um, I would say me personally, I did suffer from a terrible like depression. And at that time, I was again speaking with a therapist who really did not take the time to get to know me and wanted to diagnose me with certain things and put me on medication. And I think that not through my own power or will, because if it was up to me at that time, I would have given up. But through prayer, God led me to be able to know how to put certain things together for my own sanity, and certain tea blends that actually did help me in learning how to work through those nervine herbs. And I know when people unfortunately think of like mental health, they don't think of that being something that can be healed. It is a constant process, but it is like I was in a really dark place. So being
Mhm.
able to put those herbs together and have something that impacted me physically, but also mentally, I'm pretty proud of that because it's like I could have really been just way far off.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, and as far as like, what are some of the projects that you're working on currently?
Um, well, right now, outside of just my event that I'm having, I am working with a few organizations to teach classes regarding just like herbal bath bomb making. A lot of people have been reaching out to me for like different things regarding mothers or expecting mothers. So I've been working with that, trying to do different products to where mothers can use that can actually help them prepare for birth, and especially with Black women having higher statistics of death while giving birth and not being properly taken
Mhm.
care of. I
Mhm.
think that that is something that can actually really help us and really prepare us so that we go into a situation already ready and already set to have that healthy birth. So
Mhm.
that's something that I've been working on. I have a few classes coming up in August and in September of this upcoming year, and just constantly working on new product for my website and just trying to get things out there and working on getting into a few stores. It's my next few goals.
Awesome.
Mhm.
And what did you want the audience to know?
I would just say, well, number one, please follow me at Curly Haired Herbalist on Instagram. But also, just know that you do have options. You don't have to just take a diagnosis as the end all be all. I have heard and I have seen miracles where you may think that life is going one way, but if you just open your mind to other opportunities and other things that God has in store for you, it can flip and turn around. And I truly believe that if it is in God's will, we can be healed. So please do just know that there are other options outside of what's given to you.
Mhm. 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 That is
And
good.
we get in touch with you?
Yes. So you can email me at thecurlyhairedherbalist@outlook.com, or my website is thecurlyhairedherbalist.com. And my Instagram is curlyhairedherbalist. So it's all the same thing.
Yes,
Love. Oh my gosh. Well, this is wonderful what you're doing. This purpose God put you here on the earth to do, what you're pressing through to do. Wow. We're gonna connect. We're gonna
Yeah.
connect. Totally. Just amazing. This is just
Thank
amazing.
you.
Y'all, we got to take care of ourselves. We really do. Oh, and men out there, you too, okay? It is
Yeah.
June. It's Men's Health Month, you know. Take care of yourself too, mind, body, and soul. Totally,
Yes.
totally. All of us, mind, body, and soul. You have to take care of you. To do what God put you on this earth to do, you know, to be resilient, to be strong. Oh my God, Lisa, thank you so much
Thank
for
yeah.
sharing
you.
this morning with us.
Thank you. I'm so grateful.
Keep glowing, keep focused, keep staying in scripture, because I'm seeing hospitals, I'm seeing nursing homes, I'm seeing those are the people that you're going to be predominantly carrying attention to that have lost, they lost their way, their worth, their faith is declining because they're looking at the outer, and you're here to help restore, but also let them know that that's not the predominance of who they are. So, yes, keep
Thank
glowing, keep
you.
doing. Doing so. Be prepared though, because you will be getting a lot of contracts, about 3, 4, I
Yes.
saw. So be
Thank
prepared.
you.
But let them know that they all have to coincide with what your standards are.
Yes.
Indeed, indeed. Well, thank you, Lisa, for spending this time with us, taking time out in your day. But guys, check out the curly hair herbalist, y'all, because I sure am. I
I
really
know
am.
I am, because I got a few teas that I'm going to be purchasing, especially the anxiety one, and not because I have them necessarily. It's just stress relief. I just
Yes.
need to,
Yes.
you know.
Thank you so much.
Her event coming up, y'all. OMG, as I'm just looking at it. It's a typo, y'all. It's self-love, y'all. Okay. Self-love. We ain't doing no slang up in here. But check it out. Check
Will
it
you be
out.
coming to Georgia anytime, like Atlanta? Because I saw that too, Atlanta.
Yes, I'll actually be there in August for a business conference.
All right, girl. I'll be seeing you. I'll be seeing you.
Yes.
Gotta connect.
So I could slide on over. Yes, Mom. I appreciate that very much. Oh, wow. Thank you. All right.
Well, thank you, Resilience family, for tuning in, guys. As always, stay well, stay safe, and always, always, always be resilient. Lisa, be blessed.
Thank
Everyone be
you.
blessed. Have a blessed weekend, y'all. We love you.
Shalom.
Bye.
Shalom.